Bonjour, Mino Gigi Jib. Or actually, good afternoon, Mino Gigi Jib is good morning. So today it is myself and my mother who will also be a model for this gentle yoga practice. So for those of you watching the video, please prepare yourself with a few different items depending on your level of movement and strength. So prepare yourself to have a chair available if you would like to do a lot of the movements in a chair, because I will give instruction. We will also use a stool or a block, or if you have just a couple of pillows to put in front of you to raise your feet up when you're sitting in a chair. There's a block that my mother is showing. We will also do a couple of movements against the wall. So have a wall space available if you would like to do some of the movements on the wall. Now, the third option is that you do all of the movements on the mat, which is what my mother is going to do. So there's a few different options. I will give instruction with the chair poses first, and then I will show the mat poses or the standing poses. So I will give a few different options. Another tip that I learned again yesterday is to have some water available. I was actually instructing a class and my mouth was dry like the entire time yesterday, which is not fun to be exercising or speaking when you are really thirsty. So always have some water available when you're doing your practice. There you go. And take breaks. Take breaks as you need to. Push yourself just a little bit, but at the same time, you know your body's best. So if you need to do the least mobile position, please do so. Start there. Start with the most, I guess, low intensity level, which is what I'll start with, and then move up as you feel able. So with that being said, let's get started. So as we begin every practice, we start with our breath work. And I am actually seated in a chair, so I will begin and show the breath work as available to people that want to sit in a chair. But my mother, she will show the breath work as she is standing. So it is up to you how you would like to start. If you are seated in a chair, just make sure your legs are at about a 90-degree angle to the floor, feet planted, perhaps 5 inches apart from each other, just so you have a good stable base that you're making contact on the ground. If you're standing, have your feet about hip width distance apart. And just feel the support of the floor or the earth underneath you. We'll bring our arms to our sides, palms facing outwards. And on our inhale, bring your arms overhead. And on your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Arms back down at your sides, palms facing outwards. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And just keep going at your own pace. Inhale, bringing your arms overhead. And exhale, bringing your hands to heart center. And just feel the rhythm of your breath. Getting that full inhale all the way to the top. Pausing for just a moment. And then bringing your hands down to your chest for your exhale. We'll do this for a few more breaths. All right, one more time. Bring your arms overhead. On your inhale, and on your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Okay, so for our side stretch, you can remain in the seat, or you can stand up, or if you're already standing, you can do it that way. So for this side stretch, we'll start by bringing our arms back down to our sides, palms facing outward. And on your inhale, sit up straight. Bring your hands over your arms over your head. And when you connect them, interlock your fingers, release your index, and then stretch up one more time, nice and tall. And on your exhale, come to your right for a little side stretch. Just feeling that stretch along your left side. Bring it back up to the top. Inhale, elongate, stretch up, and on your exhale, come to the left, feeling that stretch in the right side of your body. And come back up to the middle, elongate, reach up, come back over to the right. Come back up, stretch up, come back over to the left, feeling that good stretch in the right side of your body. And then come back up to neutral. Bring your hands back down to your sides. And this time, we will do a forward fold. And one option is to do it staying seated in the chair. And the way that I'm going to ask you to prop your feet up, if you have a pillow or a stool in front of you, bring your feet to that stool in front of you. If you're standing, just stand in equal standing pose with your feet about hip width distance apart. Bring our arms to our sides, palms facing outwards. On your inhale, bring your arms overhead. On your exhale, forward fold in front of you, just reaching your hands down towards your feet or down towards the mat. And just folding your body, letting your upper body relax and feeling the stretch on the back of your legs. Next inhale, relax, and on your exhale, come forward just a little bit more, deeper into that stretch if you can. On your next inhale, come back up to mountain pose. For our next poses, we will be coming into cat and cow. So I will be doing the modification in the chair. My mother will be doing the pose on the mat. So I'll explain the chair pose first, and then I will explain what my mother is doing on the mat. So from the chair pose, keep your feet planted on the floor, legs at about a 90-degree angle, palms facing down, right on the top of your knees. And we will come into cow first, pushing our upper body through, gaze comes up, dropping our head back. And then on our exhale, rounding our shoulders, feeling our shoulders come really close to our ears. And our next inhale, pushing our upper body through, gaze comes up a bit. On our exhale, rounding our shoulders to cat, arching our back, rounding our back. You have to go ask Sarah upstairs. You have to go upstairs and ask her. Then on our exhale, on our inhale, bringing our upper body through, gaze comes up. Jayla, I don't know the password. You have to go upstairs. And on your exhale, rounding your back, bring your shoulders up close to your ears. One more time. Bring your upper body up to cow. Gaze comes up. Dropping our head back a bit if you're in the seated position. And on our exhale, rounding our shoulders, bringing them close to our ears, rounding our back, arching our back. I don't know the password, Jayla. I really don't. You'll have to ask Sarah, okay? I don't remember it.
Yes, you do.
Okay. So for our next pose, we will do a spinal twist. And so if you are seated in a chair, stay with your legs at about 90-degree angle, palms at your lap. If you are on the mat, sit in a cross-legged position or a comfortable neutral position on your mat. There we go. And if you at any point in time need some extra support under your bottom, you can use your block. I don't know if you've ever tried that before. If you want to, you can, or if you need some pillows, you can do that as well. Just see how it feels. Play around with different seated positions that feel comfortable. So from your comfortable seated position, back is straight, legs are at a 90-degree angle. Bring our arms to our sides, palms facing outwards. Bring your arms overhead, palms facing each other. And we will twist to our right, bringing our left hand down to our right knee and our back arm either back down to the mat or perhaps on our hip or on the back of our chair. Keeping our spine tall, but twisting ever so much more slightly to the right, gazing over our back shoulder. That's the aim, to get our gaze towards our back shoulder. And on our next inhale, bring your arms back up, palms facing each other. Come back to neutral, facing forward. We will go to our left side. So twisting to the left, bringing our right arm this time to our left knee. Right arm comes down to the mat, or perhaps on our hip or on the back of our chair. Sitting up tall, and then twisting ever so much more slightly to the left to get that gaze, aiming to come across over your left shoulder. Or if your gaze is just towards the left, just challenge yourself a bit to get your twist a little bit deeper. On your next inhale, bring your arms overhead. And bring your hands back down to your sides. Today we are actually going to do a little bit of core work, which was requested last time, so thought I would bring it into our routine today. So if you are in your chair, make sure that your stool is available in front of you, or your pillows or some sort of prop. Even your block can be used. So you can do that. If you are on your mat, I will give my mom the cue so she can get ready. So we'll come down to a seated position with our legs in front of us, like this. Legs propped up. All right, there we go. So from our seated position or on the mat, with your legs either propped up in front of you if you're on the mat, or your legs planted on the stool or pillows in front of you. Scoot your bottom just a little bit away from the back of your chair. we're coming into boat pose. So bringing your arms overhead, palms facing each other, and then release our arms down towards our knees and sit back just a little bit to come into boat. And just challenge yourself a bit to feel your core engaging and just come back to that point right before you start to shake. And just hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and come back up, raising your arms overhead, palms facing each other. And we'll come back down into boat again. Bring our arms down towards our knees, engaging our core. And we'll hold it right at that threshold where we feel like we can't go any further. Right before we start to shake. Come back up, arms overhead. Your inhale. And then bring your arms back down, engaging your core. Feeling your core engaged, feeling yourself challenged. We'll go one more time. Arms overhead, palms facing each other. And then bringing our arms back down to your knees, leaning back, engaging your core. And then we'll come back to a comfortable seated position. Or actually, perhaps staying in that position because we're going to be doing some more core work. So for this time, if you're on the mat, bring your legs all the way straight in front of you, all the way flat on the mat. And if you are seated again, just keep your feet planted on the stool or the props in front of you. It's making sure your bottom is scooched a little bit away from the back of your chair, but where it's still stable. You don't want to come too close to the edge of your chair. So we're going to do some Pilates roll-ups. And so this is very similar to what we were just doing, but we're going to be continuously moving. So with your feet or with your legs all the way in front of you, straight, if you're on the mat, or your feet planted, if you're in the seated position, bring our arms overhead. Your inhale, and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, come down a little bit, right to where you can. If you can come all the way down, perfect. And then come back up. Come back up. And we'll do this about 5 times. So come down to where you can come down to. If it's all the way, great. If it's in the middle, if it's just a little bit, come down to where you feel challenged, and then come back up. Engaging your core, feeling your core work, come down, and come back up. Keeping your arms raised, your hands, your fingers pointed towards the ceiling, just engaging and moving your upper body back down, and back up. Actually lost count, so maybe we'll do it one more time. Coming back down, engaging your core. This will be our last time. We'll hold it for just a second and then come back up. Okay. Now we will do an up dog, down dog, either on the mat, if you are able, or against the wall. So I will demonstrate on the wall. Are you ready to demonstrate on the mat for up and down dog? All right, awesome. Okay, so if you are against the wall, I will give that cue first. Actually, move this all the way out of the way so you can see me a little bit better. Okay, so if you are against the wall, have about 1.5 to 2 feet in front of you. And this time your legs are going to be planted more like a foot apart. So they're much wider than your hip width distance. So you got a nice stable stance. And if you are on the mat, Let me see. Maybe we should all do these together, because that way, do you want to do the ones on the wall and then I'll demonstrate with you though? I think that might be the best way. So we're not too confusing. Okay, so we'll all start on the wall. Then if you want to keep doing them on the wall, keep doing them on the wall. And if you want to come down to the mat to give that a try, you can. Just be very aware of your equilibrium as this will be bringing your head below your knees. Okay. So with your wall, up, down dog, bring your arms just a little bit above your shoulders, probably about 1.5 feet apart from each other. We'll come down into down dog, just kind of poking your butt out, bringing our body forward, and getting a good stretch in our shoulders on your down dog. So you'll feel this in your shoulders. You should feel it a little bit in your glutes. Now we're going to stand up, engaging your glutes, engaging your quads. We'll come to up dog, leaning your pelvis forward. Gaze comes up. Shifting the weight to the balls of your feet. Looking up. Then come back down, engaging, using the, distributing the weight all throughout your feet. Body comes down, hinging forward, feeling the stretch in your shoulders, feeling it in your glutes engaged, your down dog. And when you come back up, you're shifting the weight to your balls of your feet, bringing your pelvis forward a little bit. Gaze comes up. Feeling that stretch in your lower back as you arch it just ever so slightly. So keep doing that. And if you would like to come down to the mat, you can do the mat down dog and up dog. So keep going at your own pace, up dog, down dog. So if you happen to be on your mat, the best way to get into down dog is bring your arms overhead. We'll do a little sun salutation. Hinge forward, forward fold. Bringing your arms to the mat. And then walking your feet to down dog. So if you're on the wall, just go at your own pace. If you're on the mat, on the balls of your feet, pushing through your shoulders again, feeling that great stretch in your upper back, a little bit in your legs. I guess it all depends on where you need some more flexibility. And then pushing through to up dog, we actually flip our feet to the tops of our feet, and you can either you can bring your legs down to support yourself, or the only contact that could be made is the tops of your feet as you gaze up for your up dog. Then rolling your toes back over, engaging your toes, coming back down to down dog, pushing through your shoulders, maybe bending your knees a little bit. If you have really long legs, that's what helps. And then pushing through to up dog. You're going to flip your feet over. Gaze comes up. One more time, down to down dog. If you're on the wall, just keep going on the wall. This will be our last one, last down dog. Then we'll walk back up to standing. And roll up. So, if you would like to come down to the mat for Savasana, you can. I'll let my mom show that Savasana pose, and I will do Savasana in the chair. So just depending on where you are, coming down to Savasana like my mom is, she's holding her knees and vertebrae by vertebrae coming down, similar to those Pilates roll-ups. And then if you are comfortable, bring your legs flat on the ground for Savasana if that's comfortable. And if not, if you need something to support underneath your knees, you can do that as well. Bringing your arms to your sides in either position, palms facing open, either in your lap if you need to, or if you have arms on your chairs, you can do that as well. Palms facing up, receiving, as we would say. We do palms facing down for grounding, palms facing open for receiving. And in this position, if you are seated, just feel the support of the floor, of the earth. And this time we'll start at our feet. And if you are on the mat, just feel the support of the earth underneath your feet, coming all the way up to your knees, through your thighs, feeling that stretch perhaps that you just received in this practice. And at this time, just letting it go, letting any more tension go, coming to a full relaxation, coming up through your hips, up through your torso, feeling the places where your body makes contact either with the earth or with your chair, and just letting go any tension or stress that you may still be holding, just acknowledging that work that your body just did. And coming up through your arms, starting at your fingertips, through your wrists, all the way up to your shoulders, and then up and down your back, just acknowledging any tension that might need to be released throughout. And just letting it go. And then up through your neck, all the way through your head, just letting go of any tension that may still be carrying, perhaps in your jaw, around your eyes and your temples, and just letting it go. And we will remain in this resting position for a few more breaths. When you are ready, start bringing some movement back to your body. Perhaps wiggling your fingers, your toes, rolling your ankles or your wrists. Maybe bringing your knees up and down, side to side. Neck, perhaps side to side. Just bring a little bit of movement here and there to your body. And if you are on the floor, roll over to your side, whichever side you like, into a fetal position. Take one more breath, in and out. And then push up with your outside arm to seated. Whatever is the most comfortable seated position. Bring your arms to your lap, hands to your lap. And at the end of our practice, we say Namaste, which means the light within me recognizes the light within you. So, miigwech, thank you for practicing with me, Mom, and being an awesome model for the floor exercises. And I will post this on a few different places, and if anybody does have some questions, just leave a comment wherever I posted it, and I will answer to my best ability. And I will say, Igo Abaman, see you again.